Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to see you again in today's episode. Together, we will continue following the turbulent yet heartwarming love story between the single mother, Hoai Ca, and the young police officer, Hung. As you already know, Hung has just been assigned to a new workplace. There, he quickly proved his bravery and dedication as a police officer. In only a short time, Hung and his team successfully solved a serious theft case, where the suspect even injured innocent citizens. This achievement not only restored peace for the people but also earned Hung high praise from his superiors and colleagues. Everyone admired his sense of responsibility, courage, and sharp decision-making. Yet, no glory could erase the deep longing in his heart. Amidst the applause and congratulations, Hung could only see the image of Hoai Ca and little Tony. He kept wondering, at this moment, is Hoai Ca exhausted from farm work? Is Tony being obedient, or is he crying and asking for me like before? Back in their hometown, Hoai Ca wasn't doing much better. Though she tried to stay strong, she could not hide the sadness in her eyes. Every morning in the fields, every evening in the quiet house, she thought of Hung. She reminded herself to be resilient, both as a mother and as a source of strength for the man working far away. At night, as she cradled Tony, she whispered softly to her son, "My dear, Daddy Hung will come home soon. We must wait for him together, alright?" Their love story is just like that. One side is duty to the nation and the people, the other side is longing and silent waiting. The distance between them is like an invisible wall, testing the steadfastness of their love day after day. So, what awaits them ahead? Will Hung be able to return soon to Hoai Ca and Tony, to mend the emptiness in their hearts? Or will the distant challenges continue, forcing them to choose between career and love? Stay with me until the end of today's episode to uncover the answers and experience each layer of emotion in this special story. Yesterday, when Hung's mother visited Hoai Ca, she brought heartfelt words from Hung. He had asked her to tell Hoai Ca that, no matter how busy, dangerous, or challenging his new assignment was, he never stopped thinking about her and their child. He worried about her health, feared she might overwork herself, and worried Tony might miss the care of his father. He also sent a message. "Always believe in me, believe in our future. I will do everything I can to return to you and our child soon." Hearing those words through Hung's mother, Hoai Ca couldn't hold back her tears. It felt as if the long distance had suddenly shrunk, as if Hung was right beside her, holding her hand to give her strength. Her heart filled with warmth and determination. She knew their love had never wavered. And for that reason, she had to be stronger, not just for herself, but for Tony, and for the man far away who entrusted his hopes to her. This morning, Hoai Ca decided to return to the old place, the land full of memories with Hung. It was their very first home together, the one Hung had used all his savings to buy, just to give her a peaceful shelter. As she stepped through the worn wooden gate, the familiar earthy scent overwhelmed her, making her pause. Every brick, every wall reminded her of the happy days gone by. In the corner of the yard, she could almost see Hung repairing the leaky roof. On the porch, his laughter echoed as they washed dishes together after dinner. And then, the sweetest memory appeared vividly, the moment Hung nervously knelt down with a small ring, whispering a proposal. His eyes sparkled with trust, while she trembled with joy as she nodded. But reality was different. Today, she was alone. The house was quiet, the garden overgrown with weeds. She took a deep breath, rolled up her sleeves, and began cleaning. Each strike of the hoe, each weed pulled out, felt like she was clearing away the sadness in her heart. Sweat soaked her back, yet she refused to stop. Sometimes, as she rested, her eyes wandered to the sugarcane patch by the edge of the yard. In her mind, Hung appeared again, standing there with a machete, chopping cane while telling funny stories that made her laugh. The memory ached, but it also gave her strength. She whispered to herself, "I must not fall. I have to care for this land, raise Tony well. When he returns, he will find a strong, resilient Hoai Ca, and a home still full of love waiting for him." As the sun rose higher and the roosters crowed in the distance, the old garden slowly came alive under Hoai Ca's diligent hands. In every drop of sweat, in every clump of earth, there was longing, there was love, and there was a silent promise to the man far away. After finishing the work of tidying up the sugarcane garden, Hoai Ca returned home. She noticed the basket of avocados she had picked yesterday, now ripe, golden, and exuding a sweet fragrance. She set some aside to make smoothies for Tony, while deciding to take the rest to the market, hoping to earn a little money to cover their daily expenses. With that thought, she strapped a full basket onto her back and slowly made her way to the marketplace. The road from home to the market was familiar, lined with tall, shady trees, with gentle slopes that made sweat bead on her forehead. Yet today, every step felt heavy. The basket of avocados on her back weighed less than the longing for hung in her heart. The village market was as bustling as ever. The chatter of buyers and sellers, the laughter of children, and the aroma of breakfast snacks filled the air. Amidst the lively scene, Hoai Ca still felt out of place. She set down her basket of avocados, greeted customers with a smile, but the smile could not conceal the deep sadness in her eyes. The ripe, creamy avocados quickly attracted buyers. People praised their taste, praised her skill in growing them. The money in her hand wasn't much, but enough for a few simple meals of rice and vegetables for her and Tony. Yet, unlike before, she felt no joy in earning it. Quietly, Hoai Ca gathered the dry leaves that had lined her basket and neatly arranged her carrying pole. The market continued to hum with laughter and voices, but inside her, the emptiness grew larger. Hung had not been gone long, but to her, this separation already felt like an eternity. On the way home, her steps slowed, the soft slap of her sandals echoed along the dirt path. The evening sun stretched its last rays across her back. In her heart, only the raw ache of longing remained, longing for Hung's warm gaze, his steady voice, his strong hands once so close. That longing was not loud, but relentless, gnawing at every moment. It left in her heart an emptiness that was painful yet tender, an ache that also became the strength to carry her forward on the difficult road that lay ahead. Last night, after a long exhausting day, Hung lay on the wooden bed in his small shared dormitory room. Outside, the steady chirping of crickets echoed through the quiet night. He tossed and turned, unable to fall asleep, his heart filled only with the image of Hoai Ca. He missed her gentle eyes, her tender smile that always carried unspoken worries. He missed Tony too, the boy he treated as his own son, who would always run to him, calling his name cheerfully whenever he came home. That longing surged like waves crashing endlessly, leaving him restless. In that moment of silence, Hung suddenly realized, he could not let distance keep dividing their love forever. He needed to find a way to balance his duty to his work and his love for Hoai Ca. He knew that his career was the path he had chosen, but love and family were where true happiness lay. He told himself, I must try harder, not only to fulfill my duty and achieve great accomplishments, but also to become financially stable. Only then can I give Hoai Ca and Tony a secure, warm life. The first thought that came to his mind was to buy Hoai Ca a phone. With it, they could call each other, hear each other's voices, and even see one another's smiles through the screen despite the distance. Just that alone would ease the ache of longing. Beyond that, Hung held on to an even bigger dream. Step by step, he would strive to request a transfer to a post closer to Hoai Ca's hometown. He knew it wouldn't be easy and could not happen overnight, but with effort and determination, he believed he could make it. In his heart, a silent promise resounded, "For you, for Tony, I will never give up. No matter how many challenges lie ahead, I will find my way back to you." The moonlight streamed through the window, illuminating Hung's resolute face. He smiled faintly, closed his eyes, and drifted into a light sleep, his heart still embracing the image of Hoai Ca, the woman he vowed to love and protect for the rest of his life. This morning, Hung woke up early in the small shared dormitory. Beside him, his colleague from the same unit was already stirring. The two quickly dressed in their neat uniforms and headed off to the station together. The morning air in the highlands was fresh and crisp, with mist still lingering on the distant mountain tops, bringing Hung a feeling both familiar and strange. At the station, their superior was already waiting. After reviewing the situation in the area, he assigned Hung and his team a new mission. His voice was steady and warm, yet filled with authority. "You will have to go deeper into the region, to remote villages where the population is sparse and education levels remain limited. Early marriages among underage youths are still common there. Many families suffer from domestic violence and gender inequality. Your task is to work with the village chief and the temple's head monk to educate the villagers, help them understand, and gradually raise awareness so that these harmful customs can be reduced." Hung listened intently, his heart heavy but resolute. He understood this was more than just a police assignment, it was a profound responsibility toward the community. He straightened his back and replied firmly. "Reporting, sir. We promise to fulfill this mission to the best of our ability." After the briefing, Hung set out with his colleague and the village chief. The path into the remote hamlets was winding and steep, often muddy and slippery. At times, they had to cross rickety wooden bridges over streams, the sound of flowing water blending with the whisper of the wind. As they walked, the village chief shared stories about the villagers' lives. Some girls were forced into marriage as young as 15 or 16. Many women endured domestic violence silently, unable to speak out. These stories weighed heavily on Hung, deepening his sense of purpose in the work he was doing. When they finally reached a small temple nestled at the foot of the mountain, the head monk was already waiting. With palms pressed together, he welcomed the group with a gentle smile. "You have traveled far. The people here live with many hardships. I hope you will patiently guide them. The temple will also cooperate to make it easier for the villagers to accept your teachings." Hung bowed in respect, his eyes shining with conviction. He knew that no matter how difficult the road, every word he spoke, every session he held, could change someone's life. And deep inside, he believed that by excelling in this mission, he would earn greater trust from his superiors, and with it, more hope of one day being transferred back closer to Hoai Ca and Tony. The area assigned to Hung and his colleagues today was truly remote. From early morning, they set out, crossing steep mountain slopes, swift-flowing streams, and dense forests. The road was harsh and slippery. At some stretches, their motorbikes could go no further, forcing the whole team to push on foot for several kilometers. Sweat drenched their backs, yet no one complained. In Hung's eyes, there was only determination, for he knew that only by reaching the people directly, speaking to them face to face, could he help change the mindsets ingrained for generations. The population in this region was sparse. After long stretches of road, they might encounter just a single house standing alone on a mountainside. Yet Hung and his team patiently went door to door, knocking on every family's home to talk and offer guidance. At some homes, the owners were wary, fearful, hesitant to engage with officials. But with sincerity, Hung gently struck up conversation, carefully explaining the dangers of child marriage and domestic violence. He used relatable, simple examples, speaking about children's education and their future, gradually opening the villagers' hearts. Children must have proper schooling, so that later they can have a career and a comfortable life. If they are married off too soon, not only the children but the whole family will suffer even more hardships, Hung said, his voice firm, yet filled with warmth. The villagers fell silent, then slowly nodded. One middle-aged man admitted, "Hearing you say this, I realize how wrong I've been. My daughter is only 15, I had planned to marry her off. But now, I will let her continue studying." Such words became the very motivation that fueled Hung's resolve. Together with his colleagues, he pressed on tirelessly, visiting every alley, meeting every household. Their efforts gradually bore fruit. The villagers began to better understand the law, recognizing the harmful effects of early marriage. Some even approached Hung to ask about birth registration, how to enroll their children in school, and the government support programs available. By the end of the day, as the sun sank behind the mountains, Hung sat resting by a stream, his shoes caked with mud. He smiled, feeling relieved that his hard work was not in vain. A quiet joy filled his heart, the joy of helping to shift perspectives and opening a door toward a brighter future for the villagers. And above all, he thought to himself, if only Hoai Ca could see me now, she would surely be proud. I must try even harder, for my duty, for the people, and for the love waiting for me back home. After completing a long mission with his team, Hung returned to the station. His body was weary, but his heart felt light. The results he and his colleagues had achieved had brought real changes in the mindset of the villagers in remote areas. His superiors also acknowledged and praised his efforts. During a short meeting to summarize the work, after everyone else had reported, Hung stood up, straightened his uniform, and earnestly requested, "Sir, I have a small wish. If possible, may I ask to be granted the nearest day of leave to visit my family?" His superior looked at him, his eyes both stern and warm. After a pause, he nodded gently. "You have worked hard and achieved excellent results. I will consider and arrange for you to take leave earlier than the usual regulations. Don't worry, you deserve it." Hearing those words, Hung's heart overflowed with joy. All his exhaustion melted away, replaced by indescribable happiness. A great wave of relief surged within him. Soon, he would finally see Hoai Ca and Tony again. He would once more witness her gentle smile and hear the sweet voice of the child calling, "Daddy Hung," as he ran into his arms. That night, back in his modest dorm room, Hung lay on his wooden bed, the smile still lingering on his lips. Under the silver moonlight shining through the window, he whispered to himself, "Just a little longer, and I'll be home with you. Hoai Ca, wait for me. Tony, wait for me too. I'll be back with you both very soon." The longing still weighed heavily on his heart, but now it was softened by hope. Hope that soon, the distance would no longer be a wall between them, only a love that grew deeper and stronger with each passing day. And so, distance has become the greatest challenge in Hung and Hoai Ca's love. Each passing day, both of them sink deeper into longing. At night, Hung sits quietly by the window, gazing at the moonlight, his heart filled with memories of Hoai Ca's gentle face and Tony's innocent smile. Back home, Hoai Ca holds her child close, softly whispering his name in restless yearning. They both crave to be near one another, to see each other once more with their own eyes instead of through fading memories. Yet the harsh reality forces them to accept separation, to be strong enough not to collapse under the weight of their solitude. Hung devotes himself to fulfilling his duties, hoping to earn more achievements so that he may have the chance to return sooner to the woman he loves. He knows that only by standing firm in his career can he give Hoai Ca a secure home and Tony a full, happy childhood. Meanwhile, in the countryside, Hoai Ca shoulders the burdens of farm work each day. She is both a source of strength for Hung far away and a warm embrace for Tony at her side. She forces herself to smile, so that when Hung comes home, he will find a Hoai Ca who is still strong, still trusting, and still waiting for him. But long-distance love is never easy. Will their feelings be strong enough to withstand the trials of distance and time? Can they fulfill their duties and still keep their love alive, ensuring it doesn't fade with the years? Or will the harsh challenges eventually wear down their hearts, forcing them to face painful choices? The answer lies ahead. Stay tuned for the next episode, as we continue to follow this love story, one filled with hardships, but also brimming with hope for Hung and Hoai Ca.
Xin chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì mình sẽ đưa đến với mọi người một video tiếp theo của câu chuyện tình yêu của mẹ đơn thân Lý Hoai Ca và cảnh sát Hùng. Mọi người thân mến, thì như mọi người cũng đã biết thì mẹ đơn thân Lý Hoai Ca và cảnh sát Hùng hiện tại là đang phải tạm xa nhau, do cô đang phải đi làm ở một nơi do Hùng đang phải đi làm ở một nơi rất là xa. Tuy nhiên thì tình yêu của họ thì vẫn không thể nào mà phai mờ được, và Hoai Ca luôn giữ một lòng trung thủy đối với Hùng. Còn Hùng thì anh luôn cố gắng công tác để có thể hoàn thành nhiệm vụ, để sắp tới có thể xin về nghỉ phép để về thăm Hoai Ca. Vậy thì liệu tình yêu của họ sẽ diễn ra như thế nào, và liệu có thể chiến thắng được thử thách khoảng cách địa lý hay không, thì mời mọi người đón xem vào tập sau để biết thêm nhé mọi người. Chào mọi người, hẹn gặp lại trong những video sau.